Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll lock 'em. Up 'em. If he reach, then I'll pop 'em. Street sweeper, I'll wash 'em. Homicide, come and chalk 'em. Drop 'em. One hook and I'll rock 'em. One more and I'll stop 'em. Call the fighter, I'll lock 'em. Up 'em. The last topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is TC and Errol Spence go at it on social media. That is correct. Like the last few days or a few days ago, whatever, they were having it out on social media. We're going to dive into that. But first, we're going to talk about Terrence Crawford, who made a 30-minute video explaining why the fight with Errol Spence didn't happen. And here's like a quick snippet of what he had to say during that live.
People mad at me because Al told me if I don't take this fight, he's just gonna go and Errol Spence gonna make eight figures. He's gonna make 8 figures without me. Still, I hear through the grapevine, Spence is about to fight a guy that he promised and he swore that he wasn't going to fight, which is Keith Thurman. Now I don't know how true that is, but that's what's floating around. So what's up with the trueness with that? You swear up and down that you're not gonna fight this guy. You don't care what nobody say. Now you about to fight him. So that means you was lying, buddy. But you know why he gotta fight Thurman? You wanna know why, fans? Because of the money. It's all about the money. Come on now. He not gonna make that much money fighting Ortiz or Boots. Come on, man. It's obvious. Who Spence gonna fight besides me that's gonna make, $20 million? Nobody.
All right, so that's what TC said in some of what he said in his 30-minute video. Now we're going to dive into what was said on social media, the back and forth. All right, so let me click on this real quick. See where I can make this bigger.
It's about to be an hour segment right here.
Oh man, I don't even think I can make this bigger. Oh, I can. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, we can see.
Did it make it bigger for you?
Yeah.
All right, so Errol Spence responded, said, I have a minute or 30 to waste. Why it take you 2 weeks to say something at Terrence Crawford? You try getting your ish together, LOL. We can see you looking at some flashcards or a piece of paper. Good, you speaking now. I was worried, with the laughing emoji. Errol continued. He claims that his concerns over having transparency on revenues and expenses for the fight was the big issue that killed the negotiations. Cap. My side agreed to show him everything. Then Terrence Crawford responded to Errol saying, N-word, you cap. Y'all agree when I move on God. Then Errol Spence responded to Terrence Crawford stating, Didn't your team get a draft contract for the fight August 24th? Errol continued, the draft included specific provisions that required that both of us would receive a complete and full written detailed accounting showing all pay-per-view sales of the event and then status of all net revenues received and all event expenses incurred and paid. Spence continued, if I'm not telling the truth, tell him post the draft. Spence continued, he talking about he didn't have a guarantee and he was taking all the risks. MF, I didn't have a guarantee, just a higher percentage. Spence continued, all money, not good money. I asked him where the 50 mil coming from, who is over the hedge fund putting the money up, and he couldn't tell me. I think we all need to meet in person, laughing emoji. Terrence Crawford responded to Errol, LOL, you can't put that on your kids, N-word. You has asked about the back end and said you go and talk to your people and see what they say. N-word, you a whole fraud on my kid's life. You know you had to get permission to even commit back, N-word. You watch my live. Now you got something to say. Earl Spence responded, he said I wasn't at the table or know where to be found. For what I know, what I was projected to get and happy with it. To be honest, that hedge fund deal was for your benefit. LOL. Spence continued, facts. I'm finding somebody else. He is too, but a tune up. Spence continued, a smart boss surrounds himself with people who are the best at what they do and can help in my decisions. He said, yeah. Then Terrence Crawford said, this dude, Earl Spence Jr., is a clown. He had to go get his lies together. LOL. Now he got so much to say. Spence responded, peep this. He asked for approval over expenses, his company, TBC, to have a chance to review and sign agreements. Said yes for the event, reviewing and improving agreements before they are executed. The choice of which way to proceed is up to TBC. Said yes. Next tweet. LOL. Crawford responded, okay, when did y'all agree to it? And when was we supposed to fight again? I'll wait. Earl Spence responded, how long it take your team to get back? This was supposed to be a huge fight, promotion in different cities, etc. To which, Earl Spence continued, Crawford wanted to know revenues from the fight would be placed into a mutually agreeable account and only to be released upon all parties' agreement. My team said yes. Crawford responded, if he was so-called his own boss, then why I had to talk to Al? Laughing emojis. That's right. I wouldn't talk. That's right. I couldn't talk to you because when I did, you said you had to talk to your people. You can fool all your little fans that don't know who you really is, but you can't fool me. Earl Spence Jr. with the laughing emojis. Earl Spence responded, I had what I was potentially make you was trying to figure out your ish. We worked together, nothing like you and Bob, you know. At this point, man, it's just a bunch of pointless back and forth. I'm not even gonna go through all of it. You get the gist of it. They're just going back and forth, and it's so poorly written that it's starting to hurt my eyes as well. Oh, let's get into this. Here you see Terrence Crawford made a 30-minute video explaining why the fight didn't happen. And then you see that lengthy exchange between them both going back and forth, basically blaming one another for the fight not taking place. I'm going to turn it over to you, Conspiracy, man. What's your reaction to all that? The 30-minute video from Crawford and the exchange on social media.
All right. So from my perspective, and I was trying to be as neutral as possible when it came to this public negotiation, right? But I have to say I'm leaning towards Spence in this because everything that TC mentioned, right, for the most part, got disproven, right? The only thing that TC was really leaning on was, oh, Spence, you're not your own boss. You got to listen to Al. Well, Al's his advisor. So obviously he would listen to his advisor. So you're just saying like, yo, you should just take this hedge fund deal, you know what I mean? Because it's lucrative. But when Spencer's like, yo, where's the money coming from? Crickets. Doesn't make sense. And then when they're talking about, well, we want a true full transparency, he's like, all right, cool. We sent over all the agreements. We was like, yo, we're going to put everything in the escrow so you can see. We're not going to play with it. It's going to be a third party, this and the third. What's the issue? Still, he changes the subject. Then it goes from that to, yo, I thought you was your own boss. So, yo, to me, it's just like, all right, yo, TC, I know what time it is, man. And then honestly, when you look at that video, I'm gonna be real. I'm no psychologist, right? I don't really like study people's like movements and eye contact, this and third, and their hand gestures and all that stuff for a living. But I could tell a liar when I see one. He looked like he was capping in that video, you know, and it's just like it makes you wonder, like all of these fights that we wanted to see TC in. Think about it, and none of them came to fruition. You know what I'm saying? Like Mikey Garcia back in the day, Pacquiao, freaking, you know, like the list goes on and on and on and on with TC. You know, like it just seems like this dude just has a horrible time when it comes to negotiating fights, you know. And it's one thing to blame Bob, but now you don't have Bob, right? So now who can you blame? And I honestly, this is what I honestly believe in my heart of hearts. I think the only reason why he came out with that video is because he knows he was catching heat from that Black Prime fight that he's about to do, right? Where people are like, yo, I thought you was negotiating a fight with Spence. What is this? Like, yo, were you lying to us? This and the third. So he has to clear his name. And what's that? To me, that's a sign of a guilty man, you know? And so, because the fact that Spence said, hey, how about you just release the draft and make it public? And you chose not to do it. That tells me Spence was in the right, you was in the wrong, and you didn't think that Spence would call you bluff. You know, so it's just unfortunate, man, because to be honest with you, I don't even think this should have went to social media, right? But the fact that you did that to yourself, I think you should release the draft that Errol Spence's team sent to you, you know? And if all of those things, all of those terms that you fought for are in there and you still chose not to sign on it, and if your argument is because I got a guy or this hedge fund that's willing to pay $25 million for each of us, I think you should provide that too publicly, you know? Because where's this money coming from? Anybody could say, yeah, I got 50 million stashed up. How many people you know really got that type of bread? You know, so I have to lean on Errol Spence's side. He's making more of the more reasonable decisions. Oh, yeah, and another thing too, I remember people I seen this on Twitter, like, yo, what kind of fight does it have a guarantee, right? And I see what they're saying. But however, this is the danger of this fight. This fight, we've heard from Bob, from Eddie, and from Al, right? Well, not necessarily from Al, but from people around Al. They're all saying they're trying to make this fight work, but it's too expensive, right? So they're trying to figure out, Al's probably trying to figure out how can he make a profit off this fight. So the fact that Earl's like, yo, bro, I ain't even got a guarantee. The only thing I got is a higher percentage. So let's say 60-40, right? Like, all they know is when everything's broken down, at the end of the day, Spence, you get 60, TC, you get 40. But they can't give a minimum guarantee because it's like, yo, they don't know really what's going to be selling. The past few pay-per-views for PBC have been flops. You see what I'm saying? So it's like something got to give. So I'm not mad at Al for not providing a guarantee to TC, you know, because it's like, that's too risky, you know? And let's just keep it real. This is the first time I've seen TC in a long time even do an interview. You're talking about giving a guy top dollar to not provide interviews. It's not like he's going to go to ESPN, PBC, and other networks and everything to promote this fight. The dude's just going to stay to himself in the Midwest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what can you do with a guy like TC that's fairly unknown to casuals? Like, let's just keep it real. This fight is for boxing fans and boxing fans only. Bro, there's more people that know about what's his name, Jake Paul in boxing than people know about TC. That's just a fact. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality. He is like his star power is steadily declining, right? And I understand he needed to do like a stay warm fight. So he is like, hey, you know, I'll do this Black Prime stuff, right? Yada, yada, yada. Salute to him for that. But however, that could damage your negotiation power when you come back to Spence. And to be honest with you, I'm not even mad at Spence for taking on a fight with Keith Thurman. Because at least Keith Thurman is a way bigger name than what's the guy that TC fighting?
David Kardashian.
The UK cab driver. You see what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, you could clown Spence for going up against Keith Thurman, but at least Keith Thurman was a former champion. Keith Thurman, the same Keith Thurman, although he lost to Pacquiao, yo, he had a good comeback. If it was Pacquiao was winning the beginning rounds, but the later rounds, Keith Thurman, like he was close. Like on some real, like I was like, yo, that's when I was like, yo, Pacquiao, salute to Pacquiao, because I thought he was done. He was an old head, this and the third. and Pacquiao surprised me. And he even knocked down Keith Thurman, I think, in round 1. But Keith Thurman ain't no slouch. You see what I'm saying? And Keith Thurman is more of a household name than whoever you gonna play exhibition fighting in the UK or whatever y'all doing. And maybe it's in here in the US, but again, it's like WWE at this point. You know what I mean? TC, you're too skilled to be fighting dudes of that caliber. Like, I'd rather see TC going like, you know what, if Spence don't want to give me this opportunity, then hey, Al, give me that fight with Boots. Or give me that fight with Keith Thurman or something. Give me Ugas or something. And not to mention, I'm pretty sure Al would have probably got you on like a 3-fight deal. All right, yo, listen, how about this? If I'm going to take a loss on this fight with you and Spence, at least give me 2 other fights. You know what I'm saying? But I bet you he doesn't want to really do business with Al. And Al's probably like, I don't want to do business with this clown. Spence, you better not lose to this dude, because after this fight, I'm done with him. You know what I'm saying? Bob's done with him. Eddie said, I'll work with you if you take a pay cut. You see, so what other options does TC have right now? And the fact that he went on social media, it makes him look desperate. And honestly, it makes him look guilty after the back and forth on Twitter with Errol Spence, because Errol Spence literally just exposed him. He was like, yo, show the world the contract. Go ahead. You're not your own boss. Man, that's corny, man. So shout out to TC, shout out to Errol Spence, but I'm leaning on Errol Spence on this. TC, you got to do better.
All right, Dollar Bill, you ready to jump in?
Yeah. My thing's gonna be really simple on this matter. I would like to quote MC8 in the iconic movie.
I know where you're going. I was thinking. So go ahead, bro.
Both y'all acting like a bunch of scared to
peel these cat back, man.
Go see the movie so y'all know what part I'm talking about. But that's how I'm feeling about this situation. And just going off another situation, man, is who character is changing. Who is doing stuff that they normally don't do. So when you see a person that's acting like they normally don't act, then obviously then something on their end is not what it is. So all I'm going to say is who's not acting like their normal self in this situation. That's all I'm saying.
So you're not gonna tell us?
I mean,
y'all already know who doesn't.
I'm just saying.
Y'all already know. Homie don't go to social media like that. You'll never see this. When do you ever see this?
Nah, that big facts. Yep.
This is not his character. So something's up. Something's up. That's all I'm saying. But like I said, I like to quote MC8 because that's just how I feel. At this moment, that's how I'm feeling. Like,
yo, bro, I'm not even capping, bro. I swear, like, we think alike so much. It's crazy. When I first read the back and forth, I actually said that like out loud. Both of y'all said that. Acting like I literally quoted that out loud when I read the back and forth, which is funny. All right, TV.
Now this is a bunch of like what is it? I'm gonna put a lot of blame on TC. It's like, yo, you left Top Rank, and you've been a free agent for a while now, and you're handling it like I said before, you're handling your career like a fool. Like you're really not doing much to like prove anything to solidify yourself as an elite boxer. Not making you're making a lot of stupid moves right now. And for that video, it was just like it was just buying face. Like, yeah, I took a tune of this, that, and third. But yeah, when the offer's on the table, you're not. You're just not getting the job done, TC. It's like we've been waiting for this TC and Spence fight for a while now, and the rumors was like it was going to happen. They're going to sign. And then you start making things all complicated. You want to see all of this and that. Like, you got the team behind you to look it over. Like, your cousins is not going to get it done, TC. They're not going to get it done. So TC, all I'm saying is, man, come on, clean up how you move, man. Because this is I'm not gonna put none of this on Spence and PBC because their organization. This is just a one-man army right here, and this one-man army is making it more complicated than it has to be. And we don't see this for no fighters dealing like, yes, we have two sides. Yes, they have to come to agreement. But when it comes to TC, he makes things more complicated. Like the track record shows, it's not them, it's you. And from this point on, I don't even think this fight is ever going to happen. And people want to say, oh, they're not getting compensated. Well, it's not that, or they didn't meet it. What is it? The agreements to the fight, things of that nature. Nah, I just think some fighters just are fully delusional and not seeing what they're missing out on, and this is it. So
I don't know what you was talking about, to be honest, but
I'm saying TC, like, when you look at it,
he was agreeing with you. He was agreeing with you, G.
Yeah, I was trying to follow. Trust me, I was listening. But I don't know.
DC's literally pushing himself out the door on this. Like, it's like, yo, they trying to make the fight with you. What's the reason that you can't make the fight? And everything is this. But then you go do.
How about this? Just playing devil's advocate real quick. Maybe TC's acting the way he's acting is because he wants to max out on this fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when you think about it, this is the biggest fight in the welterweight division. So you're gonna try to negotiate the biggest bag, you know, and hence that's why he brought up, like, hey, I got these guys with a hedge fund that could actually, you know, pay us the $50 million. What's up? Let's make this happen. You see what I'm saying? He's just trying to get paid. That's all. And I can't knock a man for trying to get paid. You know, I'm just saying.
You know, because that contradicts what he said in his video. Because he was watching Boxing Bros, and you can tell because during the ending of that video, he says, I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I'll take whatever because I know I can beat this dude and I'll become a bigger star. And that was what Caden was saying in the previous week before when he was talking about, if you beat him, we was talking about the blueprint, you beat him, you're going to be the star. And it seemed like he watched our episode because that's what he kept saying. So it can't be that. Which one is it? You believe in yourself enough that you can beat him and you know that you're going to gain everything after this? Or you're trying to make sure that you can get everything now?
I just think
I hear what y'all saying. I humbly disagree.
No, G. I'm not arguing with you.
He's not a Floyd. And I think he knows that. He knows, hey, this is probably the biggest bag I'm gonna ever get in my career. I need to get the biggest, the largest bag I can find. He gonna go for it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what he probably was hoping on. And
and that's true. But in that video, he said he didn't care about getting the biggest bag because he knew because he believed in himself that he can beat that boy, and he was going to gain everything after that.
I'm just saying, TC, I don't know what you're doing. It don't make sense. You left Top Rank. You had other companies giving you offers. You turned your back on these companies. Now you're fighting on Black Bucks. So Black Prime. So good luck with that, man. I don't know, Spence. There's other better fighters out there. Keep building your career, man. And I wouldn't even go back and forth with this guy anymore.
I mean, a lot was said, and I mean, most of it I agree with, but I mean, I don't understand why these guys feel the need to have it back and forth on social media. I will tell you how I think. I think that neither one of them posted the contract. Both of them said what they said, but neither one of them posted the contract. And at this point, if you're going to do all this stuff on social media, you might as well just post the contract up. I think TC did end end the discussion with this tweet. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Just because it practically should have just been done at that point. Why not just do it at that point? You guys referenced the contract so much. He ended with saying, P.S. at Errol Spence Jr., when you spin the block, let's do something that's never been done before and make the negotiations public. Since you, your own boss, F it, peace, and whatever. This is very childish. Who's ever negotiated publicly for their funds and their money? And why would you want to do it? In like
From the fans, because the fans is coming at his
doing
head.
it for to win the court of public opinion.
Exactly.
And that's what I don't like about this situation. Terrence Crawford clearly, and I don't care what anyone's telling you, do your own research. Every time I click on a tweet from Terrence Crawford, they're roasting him, calling him a ducker. Like people say, oh, people go at Spence. Nah, when I click on a tweet from Terrence Crawford, they're going at him. Like Terrence Crawford tweeted like mother effers are so quick to pull out their phone and something. And when you click on that tweet, all of this is a bunch of people calling him a ducker and saying that when you're gonna fight Spence and why you fighting on that bum app. And it even annoyed me. I'm saying like, bro, this dude's dealing with someone he may have known being murdered and having to watch the video on YouTube. Like fall back, people. There's life, there's boxing, like separate the two. But people have been coming at him like that. He's any comment he makes, people are like, why you ducking? Why you running? Why you doing this? So a day after that, he releases this 30-minute video. Anytime you taking 30 minutes to explain something when you didn't have to, it's just a bad look to me.
Mm-hmm.
So TC didn't have to explain anything, but he decides to make a 30-minute video and drag Spence's name through the mud. For what? You can correct me if I'm wrong, but when he announced that he was taking that fight on Black Prime, a place that has 44,000 followers on Instagram and 700 people liking the picture or the poster of his fight, Errol Spence didn't come out and bash him. I didn't hear that. Errol Spence didn't come out and say too much. Errol Spence didn't make a 30-minute video on how the prime is sketchy and this money. So I just think it's very childish. Another thing that I think is hypocritical is for Terrence Crawford to say he wants to see he wants Al Heyman to open the books for their fight. He wants to know the finances. He wants to know the money situation. He wants to be able to see the finances. But when he comes to Errol Spence and say, oh, there's this $50 million hedge fund, and Errol Spence says, well, open the books and let me see that. Now he got beef with it.
Mm-hmm.
How hypocritical is that? And remember, rewind the tape, and this is how you know I stay the same before you try to call me some hater. I was on TC's side when he wanted to see the books. And I said it would only be right to let TC see the books. I was with TC on that point, right? I'm also with Errol Spence on this point. If you want him to sign to some 50 million hedge fund, why not open the books? And I'm sure Al Heyman will be like, yo, they got 50 million. Let's find a way to make it work. Because at the end of the day, as G pointed out, Al Heyman is his advisor. So I don't know if you know this, TC, but when you have an advisor, that means someone advises you on what to do. Doesn't mean you have to take what they say. You don't have to take their advice, but they advise you on what they think is best for you. Give you an example. Lou DiBella brought Deontay Wilder to a meeting with DAZN where he was offered $100 million deal, right? Lou DiBella did it because he said it was his job as his advisor or as his manager to do that. Deontay Wilder didn't take the deal because he was his own boss. But he heard the offer at the end of the day. Most of us said, oh, he's crazy for not taking that deal, right? But Deontay Wilder was still his own boss and decided not to take the deal. In that same way, you run it by Al, Spence don't have to do anything he don't want to do. And so the fact that TC's so focused on trying to make it, you're not your own boss, you're not your own, who are you trying to impress? Like, because if you're talking to someone like me who understands how this works, at the end of the day, right? Like, you all have the authority as a fighter to say, I want to fight this fight, I don't want to fight this fight, I'm going to fight this person, I'm not going to fight that person. We've seen up to the last minute you have that right. Remember F.A. Ajapa was about to fight a dude? The dude walked right out of the ring.
Yeah, he said, I don't want no parts of this.
So what are they going to do to that dude? You can't make a man fight. You can't make a man fight. You can't do that. So when all is said and done, man, I just find it very sketchy that TC felt the need to make a 30-minute video explaining why things fell through. The timing is also sketchy. When is that fight? December 10th. We're basically a month out, and now he wants to come out and try to do this. And of course, there are going to be people who just don't like Errol Spence, so they're just going to eat up everything he says. And Errol is doing this and this. And of course, there's people who just don't like TC, so they're going to eat up everything he says. I'm someone who only wants to see them fight each other. I don't want to see Errol fight Thurman. I don't want to see TC fight Kardashian. I just want to see them step in the ring and fight each other. But I have to be realistic. There's a lot of sketchy business happening. But the one thing I know for certain is that Errol Spence has more leverage than TC. I pointed this out before. He keeps saying, well, why are you going to fight Thurman? Because Al Heyman was saying you can make 8 figures, 10 figures fighting Thurman. That is true. Because Thurman fought Manny Pacquiao. Thurman fought Danny Garcia. Thurman is a known name to the public. And the guy you're fighting is from the UK and nobody knows him here, and you're trying to sell that on pay-per-view. And even when you look at Errol Spence, he's done 250,000 pay-per-view buys at $75 a wop, which generates around $22-24 million. So he is generating money, whereas you haven't done that in all 3 of your pay-per-views combined. Before you say, oh, Caden, you're being a hater, look up the numbers. It's there. I'm just pointing out the facts, man. Errol Spence has done that at least 3 times with his pay-per-views. So when all is said and done, I pointed this out before, Errol Spence has the leverage. TC, if you believe you can beat him, and Trill pointed out, he kept saying it in the video, that is your blueprint to being your own boss, TC. Like really being your own boss. Like that's your blueprint to being able to like move freely. And TC said like, oh, like you're your own boss, right? Because I'm my own boss. Since you've been your own boss, TC, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying because he keep the whole I'm my own boss. You're only your boss technically because nobody wanted to sign you because they don't want to lose no bread. That's why
you're right on to the point I'm about to make, Trill. Since you've been your own boss, what have you done? Absolutely nothing. You have 0 fights. Since you've been your own boss, you went from fighting on ESPN. You went from being the welterweight with the highest guarantee per fight to fighting on Black Prime. And what do you think that's going to do for your career? You're going to step in a ring and fight someone, and realistically, how many eyeballs do you think are going to be on that fight? How is that not career suicide? For real. And then how do you expect to keep those numbers a secret or to lie and act like you did somewhere a decent amount of buys on that fight and then come to the negotiating table with Errol Spence and say, now you got to pay me even more than you offered me before?
Yeah, that'll definitely be less.
That's what I'm trying to explain. Like, bro, like this is chess, not checkers. And when people get mad at me or got mad at me because they were fanboying, I was just telling it like it is. Like, I'm not looking at this from a perspective of, oh, go TC, oh, girl, or Spence. I'm looking at it from a perspective of both of y'all are starting to get on my damn nerves, and I don't even really care about this fight anymore. I just wish you both would let Jerome Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz fight for them titles, bro. Y'all sitting here playing around, holding the division hostage. The welterweight division used to be, to me, when Floyd was there, was the glamour division.
Mm-hmm.
But even when the heavyweight division was booming, welterweight division was always 1A, 1B. 1-on-1, 1A, 1B. The welterweight division is a joke, and it's your fault. Manny Pacquiao did what he could for that division. Floyd Mayweather did what he could for that division. Miguel Cotto did what he could for that division. That division always had greats who always fought each other. That's why it was always the Glamour division. And you guys sit there and let 135 surpass it. We're getting to the point where 140 is about to surpass it. You already had the heavyweight division surpass it. And 168 has already unified. And 168 basically surpassed it. We were just talking about Plant in Benavidez. I'm excited about it. I know G's excited about it. We're excited about it. So 168 has surpassed your division, and it's all your fault. At this point, you guys are hurting no one but yourselves. I'm actually sick of talking about this topic because I'm not one of those people who like to be like, oh, it's Spence's fault. Oh, it's TC's fault. Yo, it takes two to tango, and it takes two not to get this ish done. Okay. I do believe that Errol Spence wanted to fight TC. He was available. He was waiting. He didn't announce any fights in between. He's fought everyone who's had a strap. I can attest to that. Errol Spence has fought everyone who's had a strap. He then flew to London, fought Kell Brook, fought Sean Porter, fought Danny Garcia. He's fought everyone. Dennis Ugas. And remember, he was supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao. He had to pull out because he had a hurt cornea. And everyone's sitting there saying, oh, he was afraid to fight Manny Pacquiao. Oh, and just after Dennis Ugas beats him, he goes right in there and fights Dennis Ugas. So if he was afraid to fight Manny Pacquiao, he fights the man who beat Manny Pacquiao.
Breaks Ugas's face. Like, come on.
After Ugas gave him a sucker punch and still didn't take him out. So,
you heard what the Bob father said. If TC is getting that type of money from Black Prime, then he's the new Jesse James.
Where my man Bob Father said that? Oh man, I would have pulled that up. I'm gonna look that up. Yo, it's evident to anyone with any bit of knowledge that there's no way in hell that Black Prime can dish out that kind of money. But I'm gonna close by saying this because I know that we all have to go. Stop doing this in the media. You guys, man, are only making it worse. And the more I see those tweets, the more I see this back and forth, the more I lose faith in the fight happening. Someone said you need to do this in person. You mean to tell me I haven't done that already? That's disheartening. I think it was Errol Spence who said maybe we need to just do this in person. LOL. No, it's not a joke, dog. That's a good idea. Why don't y'all sit down and while you go there, why don't you bring pictures of your kids?
Fact, right? Butter them up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm saying to the both because I'm about to tell them this. Think of how it's going to impact their futures, your grandkids' futures. If y'all don't make this fight while it's still relevant, I'll tell you one thing. I bet you Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder would tell you if they were being honest. We would make that fight when it was the hardest fight to be made, when we were both undefeated for undisputed. Because we would have made a lot of money and one of us would have made history. And the fact that we played hardball led to us making decent money, not the money we would have made. And now neither one of us are going to be involved in making history. You play too long and things go wrong. So hopefully y'all get in that room and hash it out before it's too late. Because I'm telling you right now, somebody rocking, knocking the boots is coming. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not so sure that neither one of you can beat them. So get the damn deal done and move up.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. The Brothers album out now on all major streaming services. That's G, that's Kaden, that's the TBE. I'm Trill Dollar Bill. And we are the Boxing Bros. Thank you for rocking with us.